Anti-Corruption Bureau in Navi Mumbai on Thursday evening arrested an associate planner with CIDCO, Jagdish Patil, and an architect, Hemant Dawale, for allegedly accepting and demanding a bribe from a developer who is also a complainant in case for rupees 4 lakh.
ये सिस्टम का एक पार्ट हो गया कि आपको अगर आपका काम निकालना है और आपका काम आपको जल्दी निकालना है तो आपको यू कैन से इट एज ए ऑनररी पेमेंट. अगर करप्शन किसी को गलत लगता है वर्ड तो इसको आप बड़ा अच्छा सा नाम दे सकते हैं कि ये आपको उसका ड्यूज देना है.
कि किसी का प्रपोजल अगर किसी के ऑफिस में जाता है, उस प्रपोजल जाने के बाद उसमें उस ऑफिसर्स को या कंसर्न क्लार्क्स को एक ही बार क्यूरी निकालने का रूल्स रेगुलेशन बनाना चाहिए.
There is a rate card set for every table, every department in the CIDCO because there's a list of 18 NOCs that they have to go through every time they start with a project. And if they don't pay this under-table amount, this desired amount to the CIDCO officials, their projects will be stuck, the files will be stuck with the CIDCO. And to get a fast-track process happening for the project to go underway, they have to pay this desired amount to the CIDCO officials.
I want to remind our viewers that back in March last year, on this channel, we brought up the problem of rampant corruption in CIDCO. In April last year, Bhushan Gagrani took over as CEO of CIDCO. In May last year, on the 18th of May, we displayed a letter that we had received from an international investor who said that they have completely written off India as a destination of investment because of the treatment they received at the hands of officials at CIDCO. Post which we were assured by the state government and by Bhushan Gagrani himself that necessary action will be taken. Now, the Anti-Corruption Bureau has actually picked up officers from CIDCO red-handed taking bribes from architects and developers, and we have on this channel got our hands on what is called an under-table menu list of what it takes to get approvals from CIDCO, and we're going to put that up on the list. And every approval has a price next to it that developers have to pay if they want to get anything passed at all. This is the level of corruption that we're talking about in a system. In spite of the changes that came in spite of the fact that we've highlighted it, in spite of the fact that we've made noises about it, no change has happened on the ground. Joining me on the show this evening, Rajeev Mishra, RTI activist, Shaina NC of the BJP, who joins us again. Remember, Shaina NC was the one who was on the show the last time when she promised us, she'll join us, I understand, in a few minutes. She promised us that action will be taken when Bhushan Gagrani took over. Clyde Crasto represents the NCP. Remember, the NCP runs the Municipal Corporation of Navi Mumbai. Rajesh Prajapati is a developer along with Mohammad Israel Shaeik. Both of them are developers who work out of Navi Mumbai. Aditya Pratap is an advocate and Rajan Bandelkar represents NAREDCO, which is the developer association and the body. I'm going to go first to Mr. Rajesh Prajapati. I have in my hand, Mr. Prajapati, a menu of what it costs to get approvals from CIDCO. From water dues to health NOC to mortgage NOC, time extension, no dues certificate, everything has a price against it. Is this how CIDCO is still functioning despite all the work that we have done?
If you ask me whether there is no, the corruption has, been eliminated from CIDCO, I would say no, it's a myth. Yes, there are prices a person has to pay for getting work done. That's true.
And since Mr. Gagrani took over, and we've done some research about this, Bhushan Gagrani took over in April 2016. There were a lot of comments that were made about the government of Maharashtra promoting a better economic and urban development, a scenario where ease of doing business would happen. But we understand that no changes have been made in the transparency plan. The same transparency plan that existed before Mr. Gagrani took over continues to be in function. So I want to understand from you, Rajesh Prajapati, what is the problem right now in Navi Mumbai? The fact that, and for our audience who are not familiar with it, CIDCO is a government of Maharashtra body that plans and builds new cities. So the city of Navi Mumbai, which is a satellite city to Mumbai, was planned by CIDCO. So if you want to build a building in Navi Mumbai, you have to get permission from CIDCO and permission from the Navi Mumbai Municipal Corporation. Is the Municipal Corporation any better, Rajesh Prajapati, than CIDCO, or are they both corrupt?
It's not whether Navi Mumbai Municipal Corporation is more corrupt or CIDCO is more corrupt. This disease is spread everywhere, not only in CIDCO, Navi Mumbai Municipal Corporation or BMC or in Maharashtra alone or in Madhya Pradesh or in Jammu. You name the building permission department and you will get the kind of the answer will be yes, there is corruption. Yes, of course there is corruption. So it's not whether the planning, whichever planning department is there, there is definitely, and that is why it is called a plum posting. People are there for and we have to shell out if there is some work to be got down from there. So it's not whether CIDCO is more corrupt or NMMC, it's everywhere. So there is no respite from corruption.
All right, there's no respite from corruption right now, and I want to go over to Clyde Crasto. Clyde Crasto, the NCP runs the Navi Mumbai Corporation. Why is it still corrupt? Why isn't it, if you were talking about cleaning up the system, why hasn't it been cleaned up already?
Well, see, we've said this before, and the party believes in the fact that nobody's above the law. If there is corruption, and if it can be proved, and whoever is involved in that corruption should be pulled up by the law. We are open to that always. So if there is corruption and if people are proved to be corrupt, then the law should take its course and everything should come under the purview of the law.
Well, that's a fairly easy answer to give.
No, it's not easy. It's a fact. That's what we're trying to say. I mean, I'm not trying to find an easy way out. If somebody is proven guilty of corruption, the law has to take its course. Nobody's above the law. We've always maintained that in our party. Nobody's above the law. You do something wrong, you're involved in corruption, the law will take its course, and that's how it should be.
Mohammad Israel Shaeik, developer who functions out of Navi Mumbai, does this work? Does this argument work that if someone is corrupt, then the law will take its course? All you have to do is prove it? If that's true, why haven't developers done so up till now?
Let me tell you one thing. I mean, just now Clyde said it's very easy. I mean, said that people can go to the court if they get guilty, then the law will do that. A lot of people, they think court is like a mandir for them, and they think that if they are got dragged towards the court, now they feel so relaxed because our country law is so they think people can drag any case at least 5, 10 years, 20 years also. So let's come on the fact, why don't we see record of last 3 years, how many CC CIDCO has given and how many OCs, and see the past last 3 years.
Mohammad Israel Shaeik, why don't you file complaints against those people who demand bribes from you? If you're getting a menu card like this one that I'm holding, if you're getting a menu card like this one, why aren't you filing a complaint?
They'll never file a complaint.
Let me tell you, I have a limited project first of all, and last time also, like maybe because of the times, Magicbricks NOW, when I applied for the OC, nobody charged money to me because I got a little bit popular in CIDCO and all. They saw my face and all. They did not charge me any fee for the OC and all. So I'm a small developer over here, but yes, in the Nana case, I came on your channel. I told you about the Nana things and all. I mean, people demand, it's an open secret, everyone knows about it. I mean, people who talks about there is no corruption and all, they are just talking. Let them go and get CC or OC of any of the building, then they will come to know that if they say there is no corruption, I can give you any number of cases, they can get the OC without paying money.
Right. I want to welcome Shaina NC into this conversation. Shaina, thank you for joining us, and I'm glad you're with this conversation, because the last time we talked about CIDCO, which was now nearly a year ago, almost exactly a year ago in fact, and we left it at the fact that Bhushan Gagrani had taken over at CIDCO. There was a commitment from the state government that the system would be cleaned up. Now the Anti-Corruption Bureau has arrested officers in CIDCO red-handed, receiving bribes or demanding bribes from developers of over 4 lakh rupees. And we have found this piece of paper, Shaina, which my team will also send to you, which is a menu card of what price each approval costs in CIDCO. So if you want an NOC of some sort, how much is it going to cost you? It says very clearly, it says CIDCO Society NOC 1500 rupees per member, conveyance deed 1200 rupees per member, planning department 75,000 rupees per gunta under the table. It says so on this piece of paper. This is what it costs, Shaina. What is the response right now from the state government that assured us that at least this one agency would be cleaned up?
Faye, let me be very honest. The fact of the matter is that in the past one has known of some kinds of corruptions and lacunas in the system as far as CIDCO was concerned. Now, post our government coming into place, what did Devendra Fadnavis do as Chief Minister? One, online permissions. Second, if there are any such cases that have been highlighted like what has been highlighted on your channel, we have to make sure that people register complaints. You cannot expect the government to act ad hoc, and please, people, show courage of conviction. If you are being asked for a bribe, the first thing you have to do is complain, because if you complain, the Anti-Corruption Bureau gets into space. Please let me assure you that the Chief Minister notices every such case and personally intervenes. You have one of the finest officers in Bhushan Gagrani, which we can all echo a sentiment on. If he is brought into the loop and is aware of a complaint, unless there are certain cases also where builders also bring up these stories only because they feel that this is their right to suggest that somebody is corrupt. But here there is ample evidence. So I don't think that we should be shying away from our moral responsibility as somebody who is part of the system.
Well, I want to bring in Rajan Bandelkar here. Rajan Bandelkar, why aren't developers filing complaints? Shaina saying, come forward and file a complaint if you feel. And if it's this rampant, like Rajesh Prajapati told us, any work you need to get done in CIDCO, you have to pay money. It is rampant. It's part of the system. So come out and complain about it. Why aren't you complaining about it?
It's the right question.
Faye, it's easy to tell, come and complain. See, we don't have a single project. If the builder has only one project and he does not have to take any approval future or next time, everybody and each and everyone will come and complain. But see, next day, the moment, there are so many permissions. Well, first we have to take approval, then we have to take CC. There are so many NOCs. Once you complain, the person who complains, it becomes so difficult for him to future get approval.
He gets targeted is what you're saying?
I was surprised that one gentleman told he got OC without paying any money. It's good luck that he got it. But in every case, see, each and every person knows that wherever you go, if you have to have any approval, everyone has to sell out some part of his money to take approvals.
I want to speak.
I would, to an extent, I would differ with that.
No, but hang on. Let me just point this out. Shaina NC, Bhushan Gagrani took over in April 2016. Since then, June 15, 2016, a CIDCO engineer was caught taking a bribe of 15,000 rupees. September 2016, in January 2017, there was another case. February 2017, there was another case of a cover-up of bribes. There was another case March 2nd where a CIDCO planner was arrested. So this is obviously rampant. And also from what we understand, the transparency plan that Mr. Bhushan Gagrani promised us that he would change, the process of getting approvals that he promised us he would change, has not changed. It remains the same as it was before he took over.
He did. He has. Of course.
Not according to the CIDCO website or the process that developers are asked to follow.
This is a fair assessment. No.
Go ahead, Shaina. We can hear you.
May I respond, please? There is a provision where you can take all your permissions online. Please understand, earlier where you used to go window to window to window, palm everyone's hands, grease everyone's hands. I mean, this is not the system anymore. And you understand that our government, the only one thing which is a non-negotiable is corruption. And if this corruption is proven by only people speaking up, I think that you would be doing human service to all Mumbaikars or extended Mumbaikars, because this is not something that is limited to one department.
Rajesh Prajapati, it is true. Is it true that
the easiest thing to do is to allege? To substantiate an allegation is extremely important also, because you can't have builders who are not getting permissions the way they want to then come out and complain and say that, oh, you know, we are the ones who have been wrong, because that then is a witch hunt both ways, and we don't want that to happen. The Chief Minister monitors every every conviction of corruption himself. There have been people who have been dismissed from their current positions, and please, Bhushan Ghagrani is one accessible officer. So if there is a case such as this, bring it to his notice rather than just come on national television and suggest that everything in CIDCO is like this when it isn't.
Rajesh Prajapati, respond to that. Question number one, has the process become completely online? If it is, then why are you still paying bribes? And are the bribes being paid to cover up projects that are not following the rules?
You see, there is an online system which is going on in CIDCO. There is no issue on that. Yes, the systems are there. COPAS system has been introduced, but finally the file has to get approved, and the file we have to get the permission, physical copy from the outward department of CIDCO. It does not come in our on our laptop, or it does not come on our desktop. So till the time there is a human interface, there is every possibility of corruption taking place. Just to say that since the system has become online, corruption has been removed or eliminated is it's a myth, because till the time you have even one interaction with the officers.
If the mindset is corrupt, you have to expose that mindset.
Yes. You have to, because whether it is online or offline.
But I'm just going to, we have investigated this several times, Shaina. I'm just going to bring this one point forward that Rajan Bandelkar made, which is that if a developer makes a complaint, if a developer makes a complaint, he tends to be targeted by the officials after that, and then getting any other approval becomes very difficult. On your screen right now is the list of bribes that developers have to pay. Now, if he complains about bribe number 1, how is he going to get the remaining 16 approvals that he needs from the same organization?
Faye, please let me say on record, the easiest thing to do is to allege and say, oh, I have to pay this much money, that's why I'm not getting my permissions. Sometimes the permission you may be asking for is also illegal. Please view it in holistically. I mean, you have an online system which has never happened before. You have a process where if somebody is asking you for a bribe, you have the facility to go to Anti-Corruption Bureau or to take the pains to bring it to the notice of the government. You choose not to do that, and then you keep on saying that, the system is corrupt. Please, let's all understand that Indians intrinsically need to work on mindset. The mindset of the official where he is ostracized, targeted, and realizes there is fear of law if he is brought to book. And that can only happen if public at large complains. If you're going to have a single odd case of one person speaking up and 10 people not, it will not happen. But if you have all 10 people who are being wrong speaking up, it will happen. So believe that our Prime Minister is a man of integrity, the Chief Minister is a man of integrity, and you have an IS officer who's a man of integrity. Now you can't get a better setup than that. Now people have to participate too, and people have to walk that extra mile to say that yes, I will take the pains to go to Anti-Corruption Bureau, yes, I will take the pains to bring this up and not be a privy or a target or a victim.
All right, one second, Rajeev Mishra, you wanted to say something? Rajeev Mishra, go ahead.
फिर मुझे 2 मिनट का समय दीजिएगा, मैं थोड़ा अच्छे तरीके से सैना एनसी मैडम चूंकि अपने गवर्नमेंट का बहुत ज़्यादा तारीफ कर रही हैं और ट्रांसपेरेंसी की बात कर रही हैं, इसलिए मैं उनको कुछ चीज़ों को दिखाना चाहूँगा। फिर मेरे हाथ में 15 FIR की कॉपी है, 15 FIR, और ये उन लोगों के खिलाफ है जिन लोगों ने सिडको ऑफिशियल्स के साथ मिल करके कम से कम 1000 करोड़ का लैंड स्कैम किया है। इसमें 15 FIR है। इस 15 FIR में 2015 से FIR रजिस्टर्ड है और देयर इज नो अरेस्टिंग, और मैं दुख के साथ कहना पड़ रहा है सैना एनसी मैडम कि गृह मंत्रालय आपके मुख्यमंत्री के पास है और अर्बन डेवलपमेंट डिपार्टमेंट आपके मुख्यमंत्री के पास है। ये दोनों ही इंपॉर्टेंट डिपार्टमेंट आपके मुख्यमंत्री के पास है। आप अभी कंप्लेन की बात कर रही थी, इसलिए मैं 15 FIR की कॉपी आपको दिखा सकता हूं। दूसरी बात एक फेम मैं बोलना चाहता हूं कि सिडको का जो फुल फॉर्म है वो है सिटी एंड इंडस्ट्रियल डेवलपमेंट कॉर्पोरेशन, लेकिन मैं आपको बताना चाहता हूं कि यह है सिटी एंड इंडस्ट्रियल डेवलपमेंट बाय द करप्ट ऑफिसर्स। मैं ये कहना चाहता हूं आज सिडको में आपको मैं बता दूं 3-4 डिपार्टमेंट ऐसे हैं, लैंड सेक्शन, बिल्डिंग प्लानिंग, जो टाउन प्लानिंग है, टाउन प्लानिंग, आपको CUC, एंड स्टेट, ये 4 डिपार्टमेंट ऐसे हैं जो मोर करप्ट डिपार्टमेंट है, मोर करप्ट। मेरे पास लिस्ट है उन लोगों की जिनको एंटी करप्शन ब्यूरो के द्वारा गिरफ्तार किया गया है, ये मेरे पास लिस्ट है, जिसमें हम आपको कहें तो मैं नाम पढ़ करके सुना सकता हूं। और दूसरा एक इंपॉर्टेंट बात मैं और शैना एनसी मैडम को बताना चाहूंगा, 2015 में सिडको के
लेकिन राजीव मिश्रा जी, अगर आपका कहना है कि एंटी करप्शन ब्यूरो ने लोगों को अरेस्ट किया है तो एक्शन तो ले रही है गवर्नमेंट उस पर?
नहीं, ये देखो फिर एक आप समझ लेके रखना, केवल ब्राइब के केस को आप करप्शन मानती हैं, ये गलत है। ब्राइब के केस में अगर आप प्रवीण दीक्षित, जब आप डीजीपी थे एंटी करप्शन ब्यूरो के, उन्होंने एक बात कही थी, एंटी करप्शन ब्यूरो एक स्वर्ण आभूषण की दुकान नहीं है जहां कोई ऑर्डर पास करेगा तब आप उसको ऑर्डर डिस्प्ले करोगे, ये बात नहीं है। आपको खुद से भी डिपार्टमेंट पर निगरानी रखनी पड़ेगी कि डिपार्टमेंट के किस किस विंग में बेईमानी चल रही है या भ्रष्टाचार चल रहा है, ये एंटी करप्शन ब्यूरो का काम है। इट इज द ड्यूटी ऑफ द एंटी करप्शन ब्यूरो। कहां कर रहा है? आप इंतजार करते हैं कि मैं आपके पास आकर के ब्राइब का चार्ज लगाऊंगा या आपको कंप्लेन करूंगा, तब जाके आप रेड हैंडेड पकड़ोगे और उसी को आप पूरा करप्शन से जोड़ दोगे। जो करप्शन लैंड स्कैम के रूप में हो रहा है, जो करप्शन एफएसआई स्कैम के रूप में हो रहा है, उन सब पर कौन ध्यान देगा? उसको कौन रोकेगा? दिस इज द रियल ड्यूटी ऑफ द अर्बन डेवलपमेंट डिपार्टमेंट एंड द सिडको आल्सो।
Rajan Bandelkar, okay. Aditya Pratap.
Yeah, just to add to what Mr. Mishra said, corruption is institutionalized. There may be multiple corrupt departments, but let me make it very clear. The sanctioning of a project goes right up to the very top authority. In fact, in a city like Mumbai, it is the municipal commissioner who gives the final sanction to a project. Furthermore, if one case gets reported, 100 go unreported because there is collusive corruption between builders and the municipal corporation. For instance, Navi Mumbai is all along the sea. Today, there are hundreds of buildings which have come up right within the CRZ, which violate all the FSI norms. And to this day,
how did that happen? It's a fair question. It's a fair question.
In fact,
Rajan Bandelkar,
I'll just add to that. CIDCO claims that till a few years back, it did not even know what was CRZ, a law which has been in existence in 1991. The quantum of CRZ violations alone in Navi Mumbai is immense.
All right, Rajan Bandelkar, let's be honest about one thing. Why is the development community in the position that it is right now? At some point, there was some understanding somewhere where the bribes began from. There is a certain amount of responsibility that has to be taken by the real estate industry here for the kind of corruption that we are dealing with, which, let's be honest, cannot be removed overnight.
See what happens? Because the way Shaina NC told कि we pay money to get wrong approvals, I will tell you, none of the developers can get any wrong approvals. See,
impossible.
Then how are your projects then violating the CRZ? How are they building standards?
You will find fire safety violations, FSI violations, recreation ground, open space violations. Make a checklist and test every project approved with this reference.
Let me tell you, Mr. Aditya, let me tell you one thing. Any approval which comes,
go ahead.
It's by the law, and the developer, they might be doing wrong at the site. There is no wrong approval which comes from the government, just for your knowledge. You can't just say
that is wrong.
To say something.
Because I'll tell you, in Bombay, the spirit is simple.
No.
You get an illegal plan approved, then you build according to the illegal plan.
You are not a developer, so
there will be no violation of the face of it.
Don't tell me this thing.
In Delhi, violation happens this way. You get a proper plan approved, construct in violation of the plan. But in Bombay, Navi Mumbai, it is very simple. Get an illegal plan approved at the very outset. You will see on the building plan itself, there is no space for fire engines, there is no space for recreation grounds. You will find 10 violations of the plan itself under the sign and stamp of the approving officer.
I don't agree. I'll tell you one thing. Partially, I agree. Partially, I don't agree.
No, either you agree or you don't. Either you agree or you don't.
It's black or white.
One second, Rajan Bandelkar. Are developers getting illegal plans sanctioned? Because we've seen enough of it around all of these cities. Are developers getting illegal plans sanctioned? Is that why there is a culture of bribery in the system?
No, not at all. See, no
How
officer...
How can you say? You can't speak for everybody.
I am telling you, no officer can give you a wrong approval. Because the moment... Aditya Pratap,
let him finish.
Aditya, let him finish.
Please, you have the floor, sir.
Yeah, please. So what I am telling, see, no officer can give you a wrong approval because today there are RTI and people like my friend like Aditya Pratap who is there in legal services, they can go and challenge into the court. And if some wrong approval is there, it is going to be challenged and it is going to be squashed. So today no developer, after investing so much money, he wants to take any wrong approval. So what happens ki there is interpretation. In the law there are interpretation. The one officer makes interpretation in one way and the second officer's interpretation might be the other way.
Who is being paid the bribe?
The bribe is paid. See, bribe, there are very few officers who are clean. But if you want to clean the system, it is, if you say you want to stop bribe, it is not going to happen. The first thing is that if they want to, if they change the system, which in MCGM they have started, and after on your channel, today MHADA also they are doing ease of doing business. In SRA they are coming up with ease of doing business. See, the Devendra Fadnavis government, I would give entire credit to our Honorable CM, who is working very hard. But today, see, the system is going on since last 50 years.
I want to, one second, Aditya, Clyde hasn't spoken. I want to bring in Clyde. Clyde, and just before you speak, Clyde, I want to put this into perspective for our audience. There's a reason why we're talking about this. When bribes are being paid and bribes are being received, first of all, that's corruption. Secondly, and more importantly, that bribe comes out of the money that you pay for the house finally. It makes real estate more and more expensive. So even if you drive out all the way to Navi Mumbai, hoping to be able to buy a home that you can afford, you can't afford it because the cost of the bribery is worked into the price of the home. And it makes homes more and more expensive. And that is the reason why we have a constant campaign on this channel to clean up the system at every level. Clyde, go ahead.
I'd like to say this, in trying to trade charges with each other and trying to prove who's right and who's wrong, there's one very important aspect that we've just forgotten right now here, is what Mr. Mishra highlighted. Mr. Mishra has just gone and on record said that he's got 15 FIR copies and no action has been taken. I would, through your medium, and through Shaina, tell the Chief Minister that he should take immediate note and cognizance of what he's trying to say. And like Shaina said, unless and until you complain and you highlight what is happening, it's difficult, which is a fair point. But that's what I'm trying to tell you here, is that if Mishra has got 15 FIRs and if nothing has happened out of it, I think immediate cognizance should be taken, action should be taken by the Chief Minister, because both the Urban Development Department and the Home Department comes under him, and he should call Mr. Mishra and take a note of all these things and take action immediately.
Shaina NC?
It's not as if our Chief Minister has not acted. Please understand that.
No, I'm not saying he's not active. I'm just saying he should take note of this, and through you should take immediate action on that. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying he's not active.
How many IAS officers have gone behind bars? It is easy to catch a simple engineer.
Let him answer. Let her answer.
The question here is that if somebody has been asked, like, Faye, you highlighted and flashed a rate card. Now, if that rate card is factually true and people have been asked to pay this kind of bribe, they need to complain. We cannot presume and assume that somebody writing this on a piece of paper is factually true unless it is proven. So if it has to be proven, you need a larger base, which is the builders, to stand up unitedly and say they're willing to fight corruption.
But here we have 15 copies of the FIR, which action can be, you can look into it right now.
And honesty for pulling up. He can look into it and he will look into it, and what makes you think he hasn't looked into it?
No, but that's what he's saying, nothing's come out of it, so either prove him wrong or prove yourself right is what you're trying to say.
Looking into an FIR is a job of the local police. Who is interfering with the local police in these 15 FIRs is the main question. CM's job is not to conduct an investigation. It is a job of the ACB and the local police. But every police officer complains of pressure from the higher-ups, which is why these cases go nowhere. Otherwise, policemen are duty bound within a certain time period to submit an investigation report under 173 of the CRPC.
Rajeev Mishra, what is
my point?
One second, Shaina. Rajeev Mishra, what has happened with the 15 FIRs that you brought up on the show?
Why don't you do a comparative study? 1 minute, Faye. What was the situation 2 years back before we came into power and what it is now?
मैं आपको बताना चाहूँगा, ये जितने भी FIR हैं, ये उस संदर्भ में है कि सिडको ने किसी को प्लॉट अलॉट नहीं किया है, लेकिन फ्रॉड सिडको का अलॉटमेंट लेटर, फ्रॉड सिडको का एग्रीमेंट, ये सब लेकर के इन लोगों ने एनएमएमसी में गए हैं। एनएमएमसी से इन लोगों ने, और सिडको से भी और एनएमएमसी से, दोनों से जहां जिसका जुडिक्शन है, वहां से इन लोगों ने सीसी निकाला है, फॉल्स पेपर पे, सारे फॉल्स पेपर पे।
But Rajeev Mishra, Shaina NC had a very good point. Do you have a comparison? क्या आपके पास ये comparison है कि 2 साल पहले की और अभी की कोई फर्क आया है सिडको में? Has there been a difference? If the changes have been made, have you seen a drop at least in the number of cases?
यही फिर मैं इनको बताना चाहता था सैना एनसी मैडम को कि देखो आपने जब तक आप नीति नहीं बदलोगे, जब तक आप पॉलिसी नहीं बदलोगे, जब तक
नंबर्स आप आंकड़े की बात कीजिए।
हाँ, आंकड़े की बात मैं बताना चाह रहा हूं कि जैसे अगर आप देखोगे कांग्रेस गवर्नमेंट जब थी, कांग्रेस और राष्ट्रवादी गवर्नमेंट, तब बीएम लाल सिडको के एमडी हुआ करते थे। उस समय संकलन समिति की एक रिपोर्ट आई थी जिस पर बहुत सारा चर्चा चला था। उसमें 350 करोड़ रुपए का लैंड स्कैम का बात आया था, वो समय था। और आज मैं आपको जो दिखा रहा हूं, ये मेरे हाथ में जो एफआईआर है, इसके टोटल वर्थ अगर आप जोड़ेंगी तो 1000 करोड़ रुपीस है। 1000 करोड़ के वर्थ का ये एफआईआर है, 2015 का एफआईआर है। मैं ये पूछना चाहता हूं कि 2015 से जिस पुलिस ऑफिसर्स ने ऐसे बड़े लैंड स्कैम के ऊपर कोई कार्रवाई नहीं की है, एक सिंगल आपको मैं नाम बता देता हूं, 200 भिवंडी वाला ट्रस्ट केस है। 200 भिवंडी वाला ट्रस्ट केस का अकेले उनका केवल 500 मतलब कुंटा, जिसको आप बोल सकते हैं 50,000 स्क्वायर मीटर लैंड, 50,000 स्क्वायर मीटर लैंड का अकेला केस 200 भिवंडी वाला का है। उसमें अभी तक किसी की गिरफ्तारी नहीं हुई है, जबकि 2015 में उसकी। तो ये आपको मैं कुछ बातें, फिर एक चीज मेरे को केवल बोल लेने दो आप, जो अभी बिल्डर्स लोगों की बात हो रही थी
के बारे में क्या बात कर रहे हैं?
मैं यही थोड़ा सा मेरे को बोल लेने देना फिर, क्योंकि अभी जो बात चल रही थी कि बिल्डर्स क्यों नहीं कंप्लेन करते हैं। मैं आपको एक बात बताऊं, यहां पर एक 3 लोगों का करप्ट सिस्टम है, बिल्डर, आर्किटेक्ट और टाउन प्लानिंग। ये तीनों मिल करके एक खेल खेलते हैं। आपको मैं बताऊं, अभी एक चंद्रा आचार्य करके एक लेडी है, 65 साल की लेडी है वो, उन्होंने खारगर पुलिस स्टेशन में एफआईआर नंबर 65, आपको मैं नंबर बता दूं, 65 2017, उसमें 14 माले का परमिशन था उस बिल्डिंग का, केसर हार्मोनी करके बिल्डिंग है सेक्टर 10 में, वो 14 माले का बिल्डिंग था, उसको 17 माला बिल्डर ने बना दिया। जब ये चंद्रा आचार्य उसमें फ्लैट लिए हैं, उनको ओसी नहीं मिल रहा था, जब ये कंप्लेन करने गई ओसी के संदर्भ में, तब इनको जानकारी हुआ कि वो 14 माले का परमिशन है, 17 माला बनाए हुए हैं। जब इन्होंने उस बिल्डर के खिलाफ कंप्लेन किया सिडको में, तो क्या किया, सिडको के ऑफिसर ने एक रिवाइज्ड प्लान सबमिट करा लिया उस बिल्डर से, और वो भी कंप्लेन के बाद, और उसके बाद उस पर चर्चा चल रही है कि इसको सैंक्शन करें नहीं करें। आज तक वो ऑलरेडी सफर कर रही है, अंत में उनको एफआईआर करना पड़ा और हाईकोर्ट में भी उनका केस है। अभी मैं आपको बता रहा हूं, ये 2017 की बात है, देवेंद्र फडणवीस साहब तो हैं यहाँ पे। मैं ये आपको कहना चाह रहा हूं कि ये करप्ट सिस्टम, एक करप्ट चेन काम कर रहा है। इसको जब तक आप रोकेंगी नहीं, तब तक इस तरह से केवल 1-2 लोग ब्राइब में पकड़े गए तो वही एक बहुत बड़ा करप्शन हो गया, ऐसी बात नहीं है। मैं ये कहना चाहता हूं कि करप्शन को रोकने के लिए
Let me I want to ask this question of Clyde Crasto representing the NCP. The NCP runs the Navi Mumbai Municipal Corporation, and we have enough evidence here, Clyde, to prove to us that the Navi Mumbai Municipal Corporation and all of its officers are just as corrupt, if not worse, than CIDCO. So fundamentally, there is no difference between which party is running which government, because what leg do you have to stand on here if the NMMC is just as corrupt?
No, it does not matter which party or who it is as an individual. If there is corruption, if an individual, whether it's from my party or anywhere, if he's involved in corruption, the law has to take its course. You cannot let the person go. Corruption is not acceptable, and whether there's the BJP government in the state or the center, if they find someone indulged in corruption, has to take
giving us the same. You're giving us the same answer that you accuse the BJP of giving us every time.
No, that's what I'm saying.
This is just lip service.
That's what I'm saying.
Give me action. No. What will the NCP do to clean?
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I am not blaming anybody here.
Then we can go ahead.
No, I'm not blaming anybody here.
One second. Let Shaina respond. Gentlemen, 1 second. Let Shaina respond. Shaina, go ahead.
Action has to be taken.
An official is caught red-handed. What does the Anti-Corruption Bureau do? It immediately arrests the person concerned. So who is sparing anyone? I am saying if at all more and more cases such as this have to come out into the public domain, so that more and more people are arrested and even the officials realize they cannot get away scot-free. I am not putting the entire onus on the state government. I am putting some part of the onus on civil society and on public like you and me, because if we stay silent, we get what we deserve. If we speak up, then it's a different story.
This is a legal perspective.
And we need to speak up
corruption,
now.
Corruption is a serious offence. Under Section 7 of the Prevention of Corruption Act, a public servant who takes a bribe can face up to 7 years imprisonment. Under Section 8, a person who takes on behalf of a public servant, such as an architect, who claims, okay, give me money, I will get this plan approved, He also faces 7 years imprisonment.
Yes.
These are cognizable and non-bailable offences.
Yes.
But to
Point
get an
taken.
FIR registered
Yes.
under these sections is a supremely
Yes.
difficult task, because many a time the government does not grant sanction to register such FIRs. In fact, I'll just add here, Navi
But
Mumbai
what do you mean the
Municipal Corporation-
government doesn't grant sanction
Yes,
to? You can register an
no.
FIR with a police station.
No,
Why
the
do you need
trouble
the
is-
government sanction?
I'll answer here. Under the Prevention of Corruption Act, under Section 19, no court can take cognizance of an offence against a public servant unless there is a sanction from the government. And the Supreme Court, as per the judgment in Anil Kumar versus MK Yappa, it has held that if the police registers a FIR, well and good. But if the police does not register the FIR, which they do 90% of the cases, and you go to a magistrate, the
doesn't
magistrate
absolve you
cannot
from
pass
your
an order without
responsibility,
sanction of the
sir.
state government. So in 90% of the cases, if you go to the ACB will
Okay.
never register your FIR.
Rajeev
They'll get
Mishra.
the matter for 6 months.
राजीव मिश्रा।
एक इंपॉर्टेंट बात मैं आपको बताना चाह रहा हूं, जो आपने एनएमएमसी के बारे में बोला था। एनएमएमसी का मेरे पास ये लिस्ट है, 300 बिल्डिंग में किस तरह से एफएसआई घोटाला किया गया था। इसको उजागर करने वाले सुनील कुमार लाहौरिया, जिनका मर्डर कर दिया गया, आप लोगों को पता होगा, वो मर्डर केस बहुत दिनों तक आपके चैनल्स में भी हाईलाइट्स हुआ था। तो वो आदमी मर्डर कर दिया गया, उसने एंटी करप्शन ब्यूरो से लेके हर जगह कंप्लेन किया, अंत में वो मौत का शिकार हुआ। ये मेरे हाथ में उसके पूरे डॉक्यूमेंट्स हैं जो
उनकी कंप्लेंट एनएमएमसी के खिलाफ थी।
एनएमएमसी के, मैं बता रहा हूं, एनएमएमसी के टाउन प्लानिंग डिपार्टमेंट के ऑफिसर्स के खिलाफ थी, और उसमें आर्किटेक्ट अनुराग गर्ग करके, नाम लेना अच्छा नहीं लेकिन मैं बोलना चाहता हूं कि डायमेंशन करके एक कंपनी थी आर्किटेक्ट की, उस कंपनी के खिलाफ, और उसमें आपको पता होगा अभी के समय में 8-10 लोग जेल के अंदर हैं। लेकिन वो केस किस मुकाम तक पहुंचा, एक करप्शन का अंजाम क्या हो सकता है, मैं ये आपको बताना चाहता हूं कि करप्शन का अंजाम मौत तक आ सकता है।
Clyde Crasto representing the NCP that runs the Navi Mumbai Municipal Corporation. Murder, Clyde. We're not talking about 15,000 rupees in bribe.
That's what I'm trying to tell you,
This is how bad the system is.
Yes,
Where's the justification?
No, who's giving justification? I started off by telling you that whether it's my party or an individual, anybody, if somebody is charged with corruption, if it can be proved, he should be taken by the law. We are not justifying. I cannot be hypocritical. There's no way there is any hypocrisy in that. If I'm talking about somebody else, it has to start from my home first. That's the whole point. If you find anybody, if it's proved, whether it's from my party or any individual, you have to take him under the law. That's how it works. You cannot give two ways about it.
Well, Shaina, Clyde is saying the same thing that you said, which is that it's easy to make allegations, but we need proof in order to take action against certain officers. When you say you need proof from the part of the state government, and there are developers listening right now, what sort of proof is that, and what sort of whistleblower policy is there that will make sure that they are not targeted once they make a complaint?
Firstly, I want to say that it's important that you're asking me this question because our Chief Minister has launched this right to services, which is also something else that all builders can avail of if they are being wronged, if they're not being given a permission. There is a huge forum now which Mr. Swadhin Kshatriya heads where you can address all your grievances. Now coming to the point as to this arrest. Now if an arrest is made and the Anti-Corruption Bureau has already acted, I don't think we can hold the state government responsible. However, if there is a DCP or somebody who is trying to be in collusion with some guilty builder, that has to come into the open on multiple occasions where they have been brought to task. I would only want to say that if we as a society really want to get our act together, we need civil society to participate with administration, and that can only happen when people don't want to be in their cozy homes of comfort and want to take that
it is wrong to place the blame on the people.
This is the wrong
One second, one second. Let me take this back to,
as well as the system. No, I'm not for a minute. I am only saying fair, please. The fact that you have permissions which are being procured online, isn't that in itself a welcome decision?
No, but apparently it's not working. Shaina NC, it's not working because people still have to.
Right to services is implemented. Are we not all making a conscious effort? If we are not making a conscious effort, you can welcome.
No, let's go back to the developers. Mishra ji, 1 minute. I want to go back to Rajesh Prajapati, who in the beginning of the show said there is no permission that can be acquired in Navi Mumbai, either from the Municipal Corporation or CIDCO, without paying money for it. Rajesh Prajapati, right to services that the state government has brought and this online system that the state government has brought, has it made any difference? And here Shaina NC is placing the onus on you as developers to file complaints. Respond to that.
No, if I am assured that I will, by the state government, that my plan, which will be exactly as per DCR, which is always exactly as per DCR, because no officer, like rightly said by Rajan Bandelkar, can give us any, approval which is not good in law. So if the state government gives us an assurance that yes, within a week or even 10 days or within 15 days of your submission of plans, your approval will be there with you. I am sure no one will be, we do not want to give any money to anyone. It's a hard-earned money that we have. As
complaint. I'm not asking you whether you'll give money to people. I'm asking you if you file a complaint, Rajesh Prajapati, will you file a complaint with the state government and call out those people, report those people who are asking you for bribes? Because how can they take action if you don't complain?
If my business is assured, say I am doing business here, if my business is assured that yes, I will get my approvals in 10 days, 15 days, 20 days, if I'm assured, and only,
So then,
and let me
You have Article 9
developer is getting
you have the Maharashtra Prevention Discharge and Duties Act.
Illegal is happening.
You have the law,
It's
Mr.
only-
Prajapati.
it's only
How much more do you want?
There is nothing which comes. It is only, any right to service or anything. I don't understand, where it is working.
Mr. Prajapati,
No, one second.
No,
Hang on. Rajesh Prajapati, when you say right to services is not working, be specific. What do you mean by right to services is not working?
It is just started.
Well, when I say right to service, I do not see any officer, even slightly fearful of the fact that there is a Right to Services Act. And it's not, maybe it's not ingrained into them. They have not been, maybe we are not, educated that much that we use that Right to Services Act.
Ignorance of law is no excuse.
Okay.
Ignorance of law is no excuse, Mr. Prajapati.
Rajan Bandelkar, the Right to Services Act.
People have been convicted in
The Right to Services Act, according to your
corruption
colleagues,
cases.
is not working. Rajan Bandelkar.
Right to Services Act is just come into existence. This is Swadhin Kshatriya is the first commissioner which
2005
government has appointed. But I will tell you, instead of beating around the bush, see, the solution to this is that keep cleaning up the system. System means that today the approvals are there. See, MCGM especially, they are trying to do it online, and it is going on online. So wherever it is online, 100% I can assure you.
Rajesh Prajapati just said online doesn't work, because even if it is online, you still have to get someone to finally pass it. You have to get someone to press a button for which you have to pay.
In that I will just tell you, Rajesh, 1 minute, I will tell you one solution. The senior officers, if they review the files, whatever the pending files, every 15 days or every month, automatically there will be some.
That is not happening right now. Senior officers are not reviewing files.
Today, none of the senior officers are reviewing the files. This we have even wherein we have told it to Housing Secretary also and at CM level also, that there should be a periodical review every monthly, quarterly or bi-monthly, how many files are pending, and if the files are pending and if they are not processed, why they are not processed, and even if they are rejected, the way we have mentioned CM,
there needs to be a protection or a whistleblower policy for those people who report corrupt officials.
101%. Otherwise, what will happen? We have invested so many lakhs and thousands of crores rupees.
101%.
Because see, this business is in crores. Even if a small developer, he has to, and we have taken loans or we have taken money from somebody else, so we have to, there is huge amount is involved. So everybody has got all the time.
So there's a lot at stake you don't want to risk.
The point is, profits from illegal constructions are so high that when developers quote a price for the land, they factor in the illegal FSI they will get. I can tell you, there are over hundreds of buildings in Navi Mumbai which don't have OC because they have come up with twice the permissible FSI in a CRZ area. And not just that.
Okay. Let's focus.
It's institutionalized.
Okay, one second. Is it institutionalized? So I want to bring in Shaina and Clyde here from the point of view of the government. Shaina, you first. there is obviously between the lawyers and the activists and the developers themselves, there'll always be a difference of opinion of where the problem rises. But the truth is that there are enough examples of illegal construction all over our cities, whether it's Navi Mumbai, Thane or Mumbai. Do you believe that somehow the problem is deep-rooted in the system, on both sides of the table, the givers and the takers?
Yes. Yes, I completely believe that it is both sides. I'm not saying that it's an easy call, because clearly if you don't have political will, you will never see cases being resolved, and at the same time you have sometimes, even when the police falter, where a DCP does summons or does not summon, takes cognizance or does not take cognizance, and then when you have builders who say that they want to be sure that they are not going to fall into any trap, it takes a few brave hearts to start and set the ball rolling. And I do believe that our government wants to simplify processes. We have done so in BMC as well. Whether it is any building proposal where you have not had to ask for, individual tables being attended to, it's an online system, it's a single window clearance, and we propose to do that in Navi Mumbai and Thane as well. The bottom line is, yes, wherever there is real estate, there will be areas where one has a lot of questions. The few answers that can be brought to the table is when we have a collective voice and consciousness which starts from top to bottom and bottom to top. And I believe for the first time in the history of India, you have a Prime Minister who's non-corrupt, you have a Chief Minister who's non-corrupt.
Let's not make such far-fetched statements.
Monetization, even the businessman is not corrupt, whether it's giving or receiving.
This is utopia. You are calling utopia, Shaina.
Let me not leave them out.
Clyde.
I wish it was utopia.
I think it might be a sweeping statement here to say the businessman is not corrupt. We can't speak for every businessman in the country, and the three on the panel themselves are smiling at that statement. So I won't want to allow that statement to pass, that businessmen are not corrupt in this country right now. Clyde?
After listening to Shaina, all I can say is it's about time to walk the talk, because there's so much of talk that's happening. It's about time you started walking. Also, the thing is, there's no excuse for corruption. Okay, I mean, whoever's corrupt, you cannot excuse those people. And asking for a bribe is wrong, and giving a bribe also is wrong. But the fact here is, the first step is, if somebody is asking a bribe, you have to make sure that you don't give a bribe. And if it's highlighted, somebody asking for a bribe, it has to be brought under the purview of the law. I mean, I may sound repetitive, but the fact is, corruption cannot be acceptable. Whoever it is has to be booked under the law for sure.
Rajeev Mishra.
फिर मैं सबसे पहले राइट टू सर्विस की जो बातचीत हो रही है उस बारे में एक बात बता दूं। देखो, ये नियम बहुत पहले से है, कोई बीजेपी के गवर्नमेंट से नहीं, बहुत पहले से है कि अगर 90 डेज तक आपको परमिशन नहीं मिलता है या उस संदर्भ में आपको कोई लेटर नहीं भेजा जाता है तो उसको डीम परमिटेड माना जाता है। तो डीम परमिटेड मानने के बाद आप काम तो कर सकते हैं, लेकिन बैंक उस डीम परमिशन को सीसी नहीं मानती है। सीसी नहीं मानने के चलते वो ओरिजिनलिटी में वो बैंक लोन नहीं होगा, आपका कुछ नहीं होगा। इस कारण से बिल्डर्स के पास ये मजबूरी होती है कि उनको परमिशन उनको रिटर्न में चाहिए होता है। तो इसलिए ये राइट टू सर्विस एक्ट की बात तो कोई ना करे। दूसरी बात, अभी साइना मैडम बोल रही थी, मेरा पीआईएल है इस संदर्भ में, ये इलीगल कंस्ट्रक्शन को लेकर के, जिस पर कि हाईकोर्ट में बहुत दिनों से सुनवाई हो रही है और बहुत अच्छे पैमाने पर उस पर काम भी चल रहा है। मैंने उस संदर्भ में गवर्नमेंट को कम से कम 2 बार 3 बार एडिशनल एफिडेविट डाल करके मैंने बोला है कि आपको एक स्ट्रिंजेंट लॉ बनाने की जरूरत है, क्योंकि इलीगल कंस्ट्रक्शन को अगर रोकना है तो पहले लॉ को थोड़ा कठोर करना होगा। इस संदर्भ में मैंने 3-3, 4-4 एफिडेविट फाइल किया है, लेकिन गवर्नमेंट क्या करती है, वो रेगुलराइजेशन पॉलिसी तो लेकर के आ जाती है, लेकिन कोई सख्त कानून बनाने का उसका कोई इरादा नहीं है। अभी आपको मैं बताऊं, ये कानून पहले से बना हुआ है कि अगर किसी वार्ड ऑफिसर या किसी सिडको के ऑथेंटिक ऑफिसर के सामने अगर कोई इलीगल कंस्ट्रक्शन हो रहा है तो उसको 20,000 रुपए का दंड और 3 महीने की जेल की सजा है। अभी आप मेरे को बता दो, मुंबई आप देख रही हो, नवी मुंबई में हम लोग रहते हैं, सब हम लोग दे रहे हैं, कितने वार्ड ऑफिसर को सजा इन लोगों ने दे दिया?
राजीव मिश्रा, आपका कहना है कि ये जो लॉ बनी हुई है, द लॉ हैज नो टीथ टू एक्चुअली ब्रिंग एनी सॉर्ट ऑफ चेंज ऑन द ग्राउंड?
परफेक्टली। मैं ये बोलना चाहता हूं कि देखो, गवर्नमेंट किसी भी के भी आ जाए, जब तक आप लॉ को इंप्लीमेंट करने में जोर नहीं देते हो, उसको लेकर के आप सख्त नहीं दिखते हो, तब तक तो मैंने तो बता दिया ना, गृह मंत्री अभी देवेंद्र फडणवीस साहब हैं, जिनके बारे में बोल रही थी कि प्रधानमंत्री हमारे ईमानदार हैं, मुख्यमंत्री हमारे ईमानदार हैं। अगर इतने ईमानदार है तो फिर गृह मंत्रालय सुधर क्यों नहीं रहा है? मेरे पास इतने सारे FIRs की कॉपी, और ऐसा नहीं है कि मैंने मुख्यमंत्री को नहीं बताया। अगर आप कहेंगी तो मैं मुख्यमंत्री को कितना चिट्ठी लिखता हूं और कितने ईमेल्स भेजता हूं, मैं सब आपको डॉक्यूमेंट्स लाके दिखा सकता हूं कि मैंने हर संदर्भ में, हर चीजों में जहां मुझे दिखा है कि यहां ये गलत चीज हो रहा है। अभी सोशल सर्विस,
आप ये बताइए राजीव मिश्रा जी कि अभी अगर ये प्रॉब्लम को सॉल्व करना है अभी सिडको को लेके, नवी मुंबई को लेके, तो फिर स्टेट गवर्नमेंट को क्या क्या करनी चाहिए?
देखिए, मैं सबसे पहले तो ये मानता हूं कि एक गोपनीय इंक्वायरी हर डिपार्टमेंट में होनी चाहिए, जिसमें कि एंटी करप्शन ब्यूरो के स्टाफ एक सामान्य कॉमन मैन की तरह वहां पर विजिट करें। किसी को पता, उनको कंप्लेन का इंतजार नहीं करना चाहिए, वो स्वयं विजिट करें, वहां के एटमॉस्फेयर को देखें, क्या चल रहा है क्या नहीं चल रहा है, और उस हिसाब से उन पर निगरानी रखें हर ऑफिसर्स के ऊपर। तब पता चलेगा किसी डिपार्टमेंट जाने के बाद।
ओके,
अभी क्या हो रहा है कि अभी हम लोग इंतजार कर रहे हैं कि कोई ब्राइब का केस करे, ऐसा नहीं है। दूसरा एक इंपॉर्टेंट बात कि आपको एंटी करप्शन ब्यूरो को,
ठीक है, what's it? I'll come back to you, Rajan, very quickly. I'm running out of time.
See what happens, self-certification, which we are asking for MC as well as CM.
Self-certification में अगर आप लोग, if you guys, because then they will come and knock it down.
No, 1 second. Well, let one building be knocked down. No one will do it. See, today what happens? Today, because they give us approval, so people like my friend who is telling that we take illegal approval, which is not a true story. But when it is self-certification, no architect will do a wrong certification.
How do you explain Campo Cola or any of the other?
Because what happens the moment
they submit plans that are illegal.
Okay, all right. I've run out of time.
This government because the government knows it cannot curtail corruption, they have resorted to removing the law. Okay. Remove the law, remove the corruption. It is the worst situation one can imagine.
I've run out of time. I just want to very quickly communicate to Shaina NC, who's representing the state government here, that obviously, Shaina, this continues to be a problem in CIDCO. Here are the demands really to take this forward. One is, of course, plainclothes inquiry into what's happening in CIDCO. Secondly, perhaps a whistleblower policy where people can come forward and actually complain, and they are somehow assured that they will not be targeted in the future. If these two things can be brought in, and better transparency, the transparency policy that Bhushan Gagrani said that he would bring in. Shaina, go ahead.
I think these are all good suggestions made by you. Yes, I know that your channel always wants takeaways. And what are the takeaways that we can discuss? Yes, I can bring up all these points with Mr. Bhushan Gagrani, whether it is transparency at CIDCO, whether it's fast track so that these guilty people who sit as officers in CIDCO are penalized, or for that matter, if there is a certain process which is being expedited. But I do remember, Faye, the last time I was on your debate when Ms. Radha was with CIDCO, I actually had the statistics to suggest how many files were cleared, how many were not cleared, and why they were not cleared. So for all those who have their personal grievances, there is a system that has to be followed too. And if we need to make policy changes, I'm sure the Chief Minister will consider that in this session of Parliament, Assembly.
But what will we do today?
All right.
All that is for tomorrow.
We've run out of, Aditya, we've run out of time. I appreciate Shaina's comment and her commitment here. We will track it though, which is what we do on this channel. We appreciate it that members of government come here and give us assurances, but we'll track them and we will keep a time-bound eye on every assurance that's given to us on this channel. And remember, the reason why we're running a campaign here for RERA, for the real estate regulator, for the removal of corruption in the system, is because it will bring down the prices of homes, and you and I will be able to buy homes that we can actually afford. So this is a campaign across all cities. So if you're facing a problem in Bangalore, in Pune, in Delhi, in Hyderabad, in Chennai, get in touch with us. Contact details are on your screen, and I promise you, we will take up any issue of corruption that you've come across. Thanks for watching.
You can watch live TV on our website mpnow.in. Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/Magicbricks Now. And don't forget to click the like button. You can also follow us on Twitter at Magicbricks Now. To stay updated with all our programming, hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel by logging on to youtube.com/Magicbricks Now.